What do you think of current On Demeulemeester by Stefano? So, oh my god, first of all, Stefano is really cool, by the way. I've met Stefano in person like a couple of times. We judged like some like fashion award in Italy. It's called the ITS, International Talent Support. Really great with really great designers every year. Um, and let me just pull up some Anzumele so I can show you. Okay, here we go. So my thing, kind of, I think Anzumele is kind of in an identity crisis, and I'll talk about what I mean. So if we go back, let's just like go back, right? Okay, to around here. So, okay, we know, and Andrea herself, what's her aesthetic? Androgynous silhouettes, asymmetry in a lot of the pieces, soft fabrics. They're really kind of poetic in a way. We know that she likes to play with textures. She also likes to play with like sheerness through fabrics to reveal and conceal certain things. Interesting. She also has a very specific color palette of black and white mainly, and then from time to time she would use like beiges and all those kind of colors. Then you have Sebastian Munier's era, which was obviously informed by Angela Meister herself because he worked for her before he took over. But I kind of prefer his era the best because it has more range in the sense of like colors and fabrics and textures. We see, yes, the black and white aesthetic, but then we see, you know, crazy colors and like crazy like all this kind of stuff. I remember I had a piece from this collection actually. Like I had the hat from this collection, this red hat here. Um, so that's kind of what I like about Sebastian Munier. Like Sebastian Munier was looking at so many different things like Ninjinsky in one collection. I think for 2020 was where he looked at Ninjinsky. Then you have, collections like Spring Summer 2020, talking about the docks, and that's why you have like these boat inspired bags with the ropes and all that sort of stuff, and the sailor hats, the sailor bags. Really, really cool, really interesting. Post Sebastian Munier, they kind of had the team design just old Andumela stuff, which to me, as an Andumela fanboy, I have all the pieces from Andy's era, like the whole, androgynous coats, the asymmetric shirts where the buttons go sideways, or like the boots, or I'm trying to think what's another typical like Andre Mr. piece, like the crop trousers, and I feel like if you're an Andre Mr. fan, you kind of over time will pick up all the ideal Andy pieces. And so at this point, them rehashing an old Andy isn't useful to me. I went to the Anderlecht store recently. I think 3 weeks ago, I was in Antwerp and I went to the store and there was nothing interesting there because it's just like a rehash of really commercial pieces from old Andy. And so I just don't find the brand interesting anymore. Now that's nothing to do with Stefano as a designer. There's nothing to do with like him being a bad designer. I mean, that's what they are asking him to design, but I just don't understand it. Unless they're trying to attract a new audience. But the audience that already exists for the brand, I don't see the usefulness in not moving forward with the brand and just rehashing old Andy pieces that I can find on Grailed for $80 anyway. I can buy old Andy shirts on eBay for $80, $60 easily. I can buy knitwear. Like I've got so much Andy knitwear, and most of them I got them for like $100 each or like $80, stuff like that. So I just don't get the direction of it. It doesn't make sense. The coats, the really long, oversized coats with the really interesting shoulder. That's if you're an Andy fan, you probably would have bought that by now. So for me, I don't have an issue with Stefano as a designer. I just have an issue with the direction of the brand as a whole. I think the brand's aesthetic now, I don't see the point of it. I don't get it really. Like this was the last show. I just don't like as an Andy fan, you already have these pieces. Now most of these pieces you already have. Okay, maybe not the denim. You won't have denim that looks like that, but then do you really want denim that looks like that? So I don't understand the appeal of new Andy personally. I don't get it. So those are really my thoughts on Andy. I don't get it. I don't get it. Does Andy's brand need to exist, do you think? So, funny enough, I think Demeulemeister's brand is one of those brands that actually should probably close down. And why I'm saying that is because I don't see if there isn't someone that's going to move the brand forward. and develop it, what is the point? I don't get what the point of it is. I don't like why. Like, why do we still need Andy as a brand? And I say this as like, this is my favorite brand of all time, but I don't get it. Like, why does it need to keep going on making the same stuff? Like, what is the need for that? The lecture man said to earn money, but does it make money? Because they were in financial ruins, and basically Antonioli saved it. So it's not even a brand that really makes money in the first place. It's kind of like very much, I don't know about now. I need to go, talk to my Andy behind the scenes contacts and see how they're doing financially. But they were struggling when they were under BBVA. That's why Antonioli bought it. And I feel like Antonioli didn't buy it because he saw it as like a great investment. I think Antonioli bought it, like Claudio Antonioli bought it because he likes the brand Demeulemeester. Like Antonioli was one of the first stores to stock Andy ever. So he has a very good relationship with Demeulemeester herself. He has a very close connection to the brand. It's a brand that he likes personally. And I mean, I guess when you're a billionaire, you're in a position where you can do stuff like that, like buy a brand that you're passionate about and you want it to keep going. However, I just think if they aren't pushing it forward, what is the point of it? And of course, they can still keep it open because people have invested money into it. I get that side of things, but I just don't get it personally. I don't get it. I don't get it. Hector Man says, if it doesn't make money nor serves a greater artistic purpose, then it should close down. Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely with you on that one. JS7 Dragon said many would disagree. Do you mean with Demeulemeester moving forward? I mean, maybe a new audience, but I like a lot of my friends, because I'm an Andy fanboy. So over the years, I've met other Andy fanatics, and my really good friends that are all of us are Andy obsessed. Whether that's Richard or whether that's Jason or all my other friends that really love Andy. And those guys are even more into Andy than me because that's all they wear. Literally, their whole aesthetic is Andy. Like, that's all they wear. But they do not like the new direction. I'm kind of like, I love Andy, but I don't necessarily wear it all the time. I don't really understand the new direction. So unless they're trying to, bring in a new clientele, I don't get it. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Andy, by the way. But great question, though. This YouTube channel runs on your support. If you want to support the channel, you can subscribe to my Patreon. You'll gain access to exclusive content that includes everything from my Patreon podcast, where I give a behind-the-scenes insight into the fashion industry, as well as a fashion book club, where I review my favorite fashion books. You can also check out my fashion ebook, which highlights the best fashion journalists to follow, definitions of common fashion terminology, and how to determine what a good source of fashion information is. The links to everything are in the description below.